Fairy Tales, Emma and the Enchanted Forest, Good Bedtime Stories for Kids. Today we have a book named Fairy Tales, Emma and the Enchanted Forest, Good Bedtime Stories for Kids. I think they're so pretty. I hope you guys really enjoy it. I love it. Please give this video a like if you enjoy it, and don't forget to subscribe for more stories. Thank you, reading. So, here we go. Fairy tales have this awesome ability to transport us right into an international in which magic reigns, heroes upward push, and dreams become authentic. They aren't simply testimonies. They're timeless treasures that have fascinated generations. So, let's embark on an adventure to explore the fascinating global of fairy tales. Into the forest. The morning sun shone brightly through the leaves as Emma made her way into the forest. She had always loved exploring amongst the towering trees and discovering the little creatures that called the forest home. As she walked, her eyes scanned every nook and cranny, hoping to catch a glimpse of a squirrel scurrying up a trunk or a bird singing its morning song. Deeper into the forest she went, following a narrow path that wound between the thick trunks. Patches of light dappled the ground where the sun shone through breaks in the canopy above. As Emma walked, her fingers gently brushed the faintly furry bark of trees as she passed. She breathed in the fresh, earthy smells of the forest. This was her happy place. Rounding a bend in the path, something caught Emma's eye. Poking out from behind the wide trunk of an old oak tree was a flash of brightness. Curious, she stepped off the trail and made her way over to investigate. Peering around the trunk, she spotted a tiny opening in the gnarled bark, no bigger than her fist. And from within shone a golden light. Emma dropped to her knees and edged closer, craning her neck to try and see what was inside the small cavity. She could just make out intricate patterns glowing on the earthen walls as if illuminated from within. And were those tiny glints of color dancing about? Her curiosity piqued, and Emma decided she had to get a better look. Laying flat on her stomach, she inched forward until her eye was pressed right up against the opening. What she saw took her breath away. A miniature hallway twisted away deeper into the trunk, and flitting about were the most beautiful little beings she had ever seen. Their skin shimmered like gemstones in the warm light, and gossamer wings fluttered on their back. They were no bigger than her smallest fingernail. As Emma peered in silently, one of the creatures glanced her way. She gasped as their eyes met, eyes that glinted like cut jewels. It smiled and waved a tiny hand in greeting. At that moment, Emma knew that magic was real, and that deep inside the old oak tree lived the most enchanting creatures of all. New friends. Emma timidly waved back, unsure of what to do next. The tiny being beckoned her closer, and Emma cautiously pushed her hand into the opening. The creatures flew around her fingers, their delicate wings tickling her skin. One landed and stared up at her with its shimmering eyes. "Hello," it said in a soft, high-pitched voice. "I'm Peony. What might your name be, big friend?" "I'm Emma," she replied gently. "I didn't know magical folks lived in this forest." "What are you?" Peony smiled. "We're pixies. We keep the forest healthy with our magic. Would you like to see where we live?" Emma nodded eagerly. Peony fluttered back into the cavity and motioned for her to follow. Emma squeezed carefully into the tight space. As her eyes adjusted to the dim light, she gasped. The roots and walls pulsated with a rainbow of glowing mosses and fungi. Tiny pots overflowing with miniature flowers lined the curved halls. "This way," called Peony. Emma crawled deeper inside on her hands and knees. The tunnel abruptly opened into a vast, glittering grotto. Multicolored lights danced upon an underground lake as pixies flitted to and fro across the surface. Delicate bridges woven from spider silk and flower petals connected small mushroom houses clinging to the cave wall. "Welcome to our home," said Peony. More pixies gathered around Emma, their purple, blue, and green shimmering wings whirring excitedly. "I'm Willow," said a pink pixie. "Would you like to see our gardens?" Emma spent the morning exploring the magical pixie village. Tiny wells drew sparkling water, and pixies grew an array of moss, lichen, and mushroom crop. Emma helped tend the fields by watering glowing flower beds. In return, the pixies shared crumbs from their kitchen that were as big as Emma's thumb. By afternoon, Emma had become fast friends with Peony, Willow, and their brother Ash. "Will you come visit us again?" asked Peony as Emma prepared to leave. Emma smiled. "Of course, as long as you'll have me, I'd love to come back." She had found the most wonderful new friends in this enchanted forest, the elves' magical home. Over the coming weeks, Emma visited the pixies every day after school. She helped them gather pollen from glittering flowers, spin dew into silk, and harvest mushrooms, both delicious and magical. In return, the pixies showed Emma their art, from weaving dresses from petals to dancing while generating their own glowing lights. One afternoon, as Emma nurtured glowing blue moss in the garden fields, Peony fluttered towards her in a panic. "Trouble in the deep caves, trouble!" she cried. Emma followed the pixie into the dark tunnels beyond the village. Strange blue shards flickered on the walls ahead, blocking their path. "What is this?" asked Emma, picking up a shard. It pulsed electric in her fingers. Peony examined it with concern. "We don't know, but it's draining our magic from the crystals that line these caves." Sure enough, the crystal veins that normally sang with power now lie dull and dark. Emma pondered for a moment. "I've read about magic, absorbing stones that can negate enchantment. Perhaps something disturbed a stash of these crystals down here." Peony's eyes lit up. "Maybe the dwarves mining new veins in the lower caves dislodged them. Come, let's ask for their help." The pixies led Emma deeper than she'd ever gone before. Strange bioluminescent life lit their way until they arrived at a great underground city of glittering gems. Within worked a race of stout, bearded folk no taller than Emma's waist. Peony explained their plight to the dwarves. "Aye, my miners must have dislodged Modi's blue," chuckled the dwarf leader. "No matter, we'll help clear them up right quick." Soon a crew was harvesting the inert shards with magical pickaxes. As the last stone vanished, energy surged back through the crystals with a glorious song. The dwarf king bowed to Emma. "You have our thanks for bringing this issue to light, child. Any friend of the pixies is a friend of ours. Please stay and sup with us this evening." Over a grand feast in the sparkling halls, Emma's adventures in the Enchanted Forest had only just begun. The end. Good job, friends. Thank you so much for reading with me. Bye, I'll see you next time.